Okay, so we're live. We'll wait for people to join in and then we'll kick off. Welcome, Success. Good evening. Welcome, Amarachi. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday night Hangout with Joy Onyesoh. I'm so excited to have you here this evening. Thank you for coming in. Thank God it's Friday. Good evening, and welcome to Friday night Hangout. Welcome, Theodora. Good evening. Hey, Stella, welcome. Welcome, Njideka. Good evening and welcome. Thank God it's Friday. There is a reason why I'm not playing the music, the Friday night hangout music today. And this is to respect those that lost their lives in the Lekki Toll shootout, the Lekki Toll incident on Tuesday. So it's a time of deep reflection and mourning for this country. And so I am not playing our Friday night hangouts this Friday. Good evening, Achidema. Good evening, Ifacho Blessing. Good evening, Vivian. Welcome, Adora. Good evening, Princess. Welcome, Jane. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's give us some few more minutes and then we would roll off. Welcome, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I do agree with you, Vivian. It's really terrible. It's really terrible. Thank God it's Friday. This past few days has been very heavy. We're still standing. We're still alive, and we thank God for that. While we really mourn with the families that have lost loved ones. Good evening, Ozioma. Welcome. Good evening, Owo, Ugo. Welcome. It's really so painful. I do agree with you. So we're going to start right off and welcome once again to Friday Night Hangouts with Joy Onyesoh. I'm always so excited to have you join me every Friday evening at 7 p.m. And this Friday, even though we're here together and some of us are still mourning and still feeling sad, we still thank God for the privilege of being together this Friday. And so, in honor of those that lost their lives in the Tuesday Lekki incident, we are not playing the Friday night hangout music today. We would honor them with not playing the music today. It's a time for sober reflection, a time for peace building, a time for all of us to collectively put our hands together and preach the message of peace and healing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we're happy that we are alive. Oh, thank you so much. Vivian says, thank you so much for last week's recharge top up. You're welcome, Vivian. Welcome, Shola. Welcome, Amarachi. Welcome, Nkemdilim. We're so excited to have you here today. And I want to ask all of us, please, before we delve into today's topic, I want us to just observe a minute silence, maybe a few seconds silence. So let's not post anything on the chat box. Let us just leave the chat box alone for now. Let's just observe some few seconds just to honor those that lost their lives on Tuesday. Let's just honor those that lost their lives on Tuesday. We ask that the soul of the departed find rest and peace in the bosom of the Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Welcome once again, and thank God it's Friday. I'm so excited to have you here. And in this month of October, we would be discussing health and wellness. Now, this topic is so relevant in this times like this. I know the incident of Tuesday, not just in Lekki, we've had incidents across different states. For instance, in Enugu State, we're having the 24 hours curfew. And I'm sure in so many other states like Lagos, Anambra, Imo, excuse me, Plateau, Abia, the curfew is still on. And the NSAS protest has been hijacked by hoodlums and thugs, and it has turned into um, a destruction process. And so we really want to preach the message of peace. We can't be burning our social wealth. It's the properties we are burning and those that we're looting belongs to us, and they have to be rebuilt. So we just need to, take it easy. We know that we're angry. We know that we're frustrated, but destroying and looting properties is not the way to go. So more than ever, we need to preach the message of peace. And if you're like me, some of us have been heavily traumatized by the incident that have been happening in Nigeria since Tuesday. So many of us are undergoing a lot of emotional trauma, psychological stress. Some of them have even manifested in a lot of physical ailments. And the topic we have in this episode of Friday Night Hangout is really very apt, because it will help us to manage our wellness appropriately, given the stressful time that we're in. More than ever, we need to safeguard our health. We need to safeguard our mind. We need to safeguard our families. We need to safeguard everything around us. We also need to look out for one another, because this is the time. Oh, Njideka says, I cannot sleep. I know. On Tuesday, I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. And I know so many of us couldn't sleep as well with the feedbacks we were getting. And that's why we really need to look at it. We really need to make sure that we keep healthy, because once there's life, there's hope. The struggle still continues, and it continues in peace. It continues in peace. We can't allow our voice to be silenced, but then we have to do it peacefully. Our voice is one of the greatest assets that we have to create change. And so we wouldn't allow it to be silenced. But whatsoever we do, we need to ensure that we understand peace is supreme, and we need to promote peace. Violence is not a response to any situation. It aggravates situation. It doesn't solve anything. So please let us not resort to violence at all. And so welcome once more to Friday Night Hangout. And if you're just joining in, this is hosted by my humble self, Onyesoh. And with me in the studio today is an amazing sister, a member of our tribe. She's also called the Tyrant Queen, and she's our sister, Iruoma Ofortube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yes,
I
let's
have to, I have
welcome
to,
her.
I have to really force myself to smile. This is
Yeah,
what we've been preparing for, and suddenly the enemy struck. But we
I
stand. We
know.
still
I
stand.
know. This is stand.
So
That's the spirit.
thank God, all
That's the
things work
spirit.
together for good. But I must say, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to
Yay.
be the guest for today, and I hope we'll have a nice time. I also want to thank you so much for the honor to sit here to share my ideas and also pour myself into others. And I believe that come what may, we'll have a great time together. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes, yes. You're welcome. You're welcome. And our
Thank
tribe, they're
you.
welcoming you. We're so
Thank
excited to
you.
have you here. And that's the
Thank you.
spirit. And that's really the spirit. My daughter asked me, are you going to have the Friday night hangout? But she saw how sad I've been all through. I said,
Oh,
yes. I'm going to see what's the Friday night hangout. And I'm going to decide to be happy today. And we're going
yes.
to spread message of hope, because being happy is a choice. we're going to be happy. We're going to preach message of peace, and we're going to rebuild. We're really going to rebuild. And so
Sure.
it's very important that we don't allow sadness to overtake us and make us fall into depression. So that's the message we celebrate, and that's the message that we share on our Friday night hangout. In fact, that's the essence of Friday night hangout, where we come to celebrate, we come to pour out, we come to learn and unlearn. So I'm hoping that we would all leave here today strengthened. We will all leave here today hopeful. We'll all leave here today healed. We'll start our journey of healing. I do know that so many of us are still feeling so sad, so pained, but we're going to leave here well on our path of healing and recovery. And so we're going to leave there refreshed. Yes, that's the message. So welcome once again. And yes, it's been horrific this past few days, Stella says, and she loves the excitement in this space. Thank you. That's the idea, that we have a safe space where we can just release all the negative energy and we just soak in all the positive energy, all the excitement, all the hopefulness, and then we go away with that into the weekend. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a lot of interactions here. Please relax your mind. Let's have fun here. Let us celebrate. Once there's life, there's still hope, and we still continue the struggle. And so I'm going to turn over to our amazing guest speaker Iruoma Ofortube. She's also known as the Tarot Queen. So I'm going to ask her to give us her introduction, and then I will come back to you before we delve into our discussion for today. So, Iruoma, let's know you. Introduce yourself to our
Okay.
participants.
Thank you so much, Professor Joy. I must say again that I'm highly honored and privileged to sit here to have fun, because this fun, we must have it. We must
Yes.
have it. So I want
Yes.
to thank everybody who has come up to, to hear, because we are all here to
Mm.
hear and learn.
Yeah.
My name is
Yes.
Iruoma Ofortube. I am an entrepreneur, but we're talking about health today. I am a health coach too, and I am a women's health enthusiast and a well-being, an avid, advocate of well-being, general well-being, health and well-being. And I also am a survivor of thyroid disease, which we're going to talk about today, and the founder of Thyroidism Awareness and Support Initiative, an NGO that creates awareness on thyroid disease and also supports people that are suffering from thyroid disease and other related hormonal diseases. Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome once again. Let's have a rousing welcome for our amazing guest
Thank you.
today,
Thank
Iruoma
you.
Ofortube. Welcome. We're so excited
Thank
and
you.
we're looking
Thank
forward
you.
to the conversations that will happen this evening. And so
Yeah.
before we go right into the conversation, I want us to take our first giveaway. So the first 10 persons to drop their numbers. Now, listen, this time I want you to put your number and peace. So, your number and peace, because we want to spread the message of peace. So, your number and peace, and you get 500 naira free data subscription, no matter the network. So, your number and peace, the first 10 persons get 500 naira data subscription, any network. Your number and peace. So while you're doing that, while the numbers are coming in, if this is your first time in joining the Friday Night Hangout, this is an inspirational program where we come to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We also come here to learn how to celebrate ourselves. So we just come here to relax, just like that's why it's called a hangout. So we hang out together to distress, to just celebrate ourselves. While we're celebrating ourselves, we're learning. So we discuss topical issues. Keep ourselves inspired and motivated to face whatever challenge life throws on us. And this show also helps you to become the best version of yourself. It keeps you focused on your goal. And we bring on board different guests who have broken grounds in different endeavors, who are leading advocates in different areas to just keep us inspired. And I know that the guest we have here today is going to do justice to the topic of thyroid awareness today. And please get your pen and notepad, take notes. If you have questions, please do put down your questions. Thank you. I'm seeing the numbers coming in and I'm excited. Yes, 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 I'm excited. A member of my team is going to pick up the first 10 numbers and you'll get your top up recharge by early next week. So by early next week, you will get your top up free data subscription. So thank you for putting down your number. Now it's time to call the winner for last week's share. You know, what we do in this program, we said we're going to be calling out the winner, and the winner is anyone who has the most likes on his or her share. So if you shared the video of this program last week, and you tagged me, so we look through and then we pick out the person that has the most number of likes. And so for last week, our winner is Ifacho Blessing. She won with 124 likes. So Ifacho Blessing has won the cash prize of 5,000 naira. Let's celebrate Ifacho Blessing. Congratulations. Congratulations, Ifacho. A member of my team will be in touch to get your bank details, and so you can get your cash prize. Now, last week, what we called that the winner, which is the winner was Shan George. If Ifacho said she was the winner, but we've sorted it out. Now, I would encourage you, please, if you have your setting to privacy setting, we wouldn't see the number of likes on your page. It will be difficult for us to pick out the number of likes. So please, you need to watch your privacy settings so that we can pick out your pages. We can see the likes when you share the video. So as usual, don't forget to share this video, share, and get people to like. This is very informative, and today's conversation is going to be real, it's going to be concrete, and it's going to be very exciting. And thank you all. Congratulations, Ifacho Blessing. Congratulations, and welcome everyone once more. And we dive straight into our conversation on thyroid. So the floor is yours, our thyroid queen, Iruoma Ofortube. Let's have our conversation. We're hearing you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Joy. I am so excited. This is a very critical period for every one of us. And I must say that God is about to do something. Let's not lose hope in what is happening. Like question, and it seems life was just ending that time. And but by the grace of God, we always have a consolation that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And I want to encourage everyone of us at this very time, a period for every one of us. But I want to give you, before I start talking about this thyroid, I want to tell us and beg every one of us, especially women, you know, there are people that most of the things I advocate for are people that are suffering from invisible diseases. There are people that have high blood pressure. There are people that have some, you know, invisible, traumatic, debilitating diseases that should be very careful now. Mind the kind of gory videos and unnecessary information, you know, because this well-being we're talking about comprises of our spiritual life, our physical life, emotional life, and mental life. So we have to be very, very sensitive and put all those things in check. If you don't balance your well-being now, you may end up, you know, trickling down effects after the whole crisis. So in this unstable situation, let us be very, very intentional with what we feed our ears, with what we eat, because a lot of people are depressed now. There's anxiety. If I am really a victim, because that night I followed everything live. I couldn't sleep. I was at the stage I started having panic attacks. It was my husband that took my phone away from me. I couldn't believe I was in Nigeria. I couldn't believe it was live. And it really gave me, for 2 days, I didn't eat throughout day before yesterday and yesterday. And I also believe that a lot of people will be passing through that. All of a sudden, I had to advise myself. So at this very time, stop opening every video that people are sending to you. Don't open every video that will traumatize you. And whatever you're passing through, try to share it with somebody. Share it with somebody. Just check if you are having any existing disease, make sure you keep checking yourself. Keep checking yourself, because I tell you, most of this kind of traumatic situation, triggers some internal diseases that may not even affect one now, but it may occur tomorrow. So we have to be very, very intentional and very, very sensitive in the environment we find ourselves. Find your Bible and read. There's a lot of lessons and consolations that we can learn there that will keep our body and soul together. Make sure you just keep away from all these odd, horrific stories. Keep away from it. And just do something that will make you happy. Watch movies. Stop watching Arise News and all that. Something that will traumatize you. Please, let us be very, very, very mindful this time around, because a lot of things, there is life in crisis, in a period of crisis, and there is life after crisis. Life is waiting for us ahead, and it's only life, when we are alive, that we can experience the new Nigeria that we are praying for all this while. So in that case, I am a thyroid disease survivor, and I like to talk about it. I like to talk about it. In fact, it's my tea. I drink it, I eat it, I rub it on my body. Why? Because this disease is a disease that affects women most. I'm very emotional about it, creating this awareness, talking about myself, telling my story wherever I go to, proudly telling my stories and using my stories to change lives and also affect, revive people, and also get them to understand that life with thyroid disease is not a death sentence, and is not a stigma. It's just an ordinary disease, a normal disease that has come upon someone, which is treatable, which is curable. It does not worth stigmatizing somebody because of it. And most of the times, people think that those that have thyroid disease is only when you have goiter. No, goiter is just a part of the whole. Goiter is, to some extent, a symptom of thyroid disease, because thyroid disease has different types. What is this thyroid we're talking about? Everybody has a thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland that is situated just at the base of the neck, below the Adam's apple. Thyroid gland, a woman has it, a man has. Every human being and mammals have thyroid gland. So what is the work of this thyroid gland? The thyroid gland is connected to every cell, every organ, everything in the body. For the body to function optimally, the thyroid gland must be very, very, very healthy. And this gland, what is the responsibility of this gland? This gland produces hormones, two hormones, tyrosine and thyronine, which is called T3 and T4, which the body uses for the body metabolism. Body metabolism, it works with your heart. Your heart is working well. You have energy in the morning when you wake up. Your brain is working well. The whole of your body, your skin, everything is working well. That means that your thyroid gland is working well. Your body weight, you want to lose weight, you go to a weight therapy, you are achieving your goal, and it's not the one that you'll be growing fatter and fatter no matter the kind of effort you put. So given that yours truly was struck with this disease in 2008 and I battled with it 2008 to 2012, finally when I got the cure. But before then, when we talk about invisible diseases, people don't understand. Somebody like me, I am somebody that even if that thing wants to kill me, I will refuse. When you look at me, you will not know that something is happening to me, but there's something I do. I don't close my mouth when I'm passing through some, health challenges. I don't. I talk out, I cry out, I talk to people that I am led to talk to. So I battled with this thing. How did it start? I never knew. I never knew I had it. I had 3 children already before it started. And the 3 children I had, I never asked God to give me children. They were just coming in quick succession at the time I wanted to have them. But after the 3rd one, we just took a break, said, let's just rest. After the 3rd one, let's do another one. At the time we desired it, and we tried, it wasn't coming. We tried for like 2 months, 3 months, and I was still looking myself. I didn't notice anything happening to me without knowing that it has already started inside me without showing any physical sign. So before I knew it, after like a year or 2, but I was having some internal symptoms. There's something I want us to know. Thyroid disease has different types. Thyroid disease, there is hypothyroidism, there is hyperthyroidism, there are autoimmune thyroid disease, that is Hashimoto's and Graves' disease, which can snowball into hyperthyroidism and all that. Then there is this ordinary nodule, inflammation of the thyroid that just will come to the thyroid gland, and meanwhile your hormonal values are normal. So hyperthyroidism is those 2 hormones I talked about. When the hormones are overproduced and the body begins to function in a hyperactive way, that means everything about you begins to function in triple ways. There will be an overdrive in your body. You see yourself, something is happening to you. You don't even know how to describe it. Not to talk of someone that is very close to you, knowing how you're feeling. So it happened like that until I never knew. My husband did not know. I knew I was having some palpitations. And then I was, I've been size 16. I've never been a slim person in my life. All of a sudden, I saw myself shrinking from size 16 to size 14 to size, people started gossiping. Are you sure she at the stage, after a while, my husband had an assignment in UK, which took him like 4.5 years. And then I was alone with the children. And we are talking about this mental health. That is why I urge everybody, please, especially women, let us be very intentional about our health now, especially mentally. Because that time I went haywire. My body was just overreacting. I became so quarrelsome, so irritable that people started running away from me. What's wrong with this woman? In my office then, I used to challenge my boss. When he said 1, I would say 10. For me, I didn't know I knew something was wrong with me, but I didn't know what was wrong with me. Everybody, my colleagues, they don't like to come near my table. Once a lovely person, all of a sudden I became a tiger to everybody in the office. It will start dealing with your mental state before it will now start showing in other parts of your body. I became I would go to work and come back, my children will just come back, and by that time my heart will be it will be beating and beating as if I was going to collapse, and I'll be panting. I was staying at the 1st floor that time. Coming up like that day would be just like someone someone that is climbing Kilimanjaro. So it was so bad, but I couldn't. My friend will come, she will tell me, please, what will we do? Just buy. And another thing is that I was never a hypertensive patient. All of a sudden, I became hypertensive. And I was taking hypertension medication over the counter. Imagine that. I didn't know what was happening. It was just all these things were happening out of ignorance. I was suffering. Nobody could understand me. I couldn't understand myself. And I continued like that. I was always watchful of what I eat because I am on the big side. I started eating like a glutton. I will eat now, the next minute I'll run to the toilet, come out again, I will eat again. It continued like that. My life just took another. People will be telling me, every time you're in the toilet, where are you? In the toilet. Where are you? In the toilet. I am saying this thing fundamentally because I know that a lot of people may be going through having one of these symptoms or the other. Then it continued like that until one day my eyes now started bulging out. I started having, because I've been having eye issue. I've been using glasses. So my boss couldn't contain everything that was happening to me. He saw that I was just wrecked totally. So he called me inside his office one day and he said, "Madam, sit down. What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What do you mean? After looking at me like this, asking me, what's wrong with you?" This is my boss. So this man was like, "Just calm down. What is wrong with you?" He's a pastor. So I think he leveraged on that to really find out what was wrong with me. He said, "Okay, for instance, see your eyes are bulging. This is not you that I used to know. You are not looking good. You are slimming down. Or are you doing slimming therapy or something?" I said, "Yes, that I'm gymming. He now said, "Okay, let me give you my consultant's number so that you will consult my eye doctor, so that you will know exactly if it's an ordinary problem with the eyes, because your eyes are bulging out. What's the problem?" I said, "Okay, tomorrow don't come to work. Just go and meet the woman." That was how I got to the woman's office. And she didn't even examine my eyes. She just gave me a note and said, "Go and do a thyroid function test." I had not heard of something like that before. I became more, anxiety came up again. I became so apprehensive. I said, "Is this how I'm going to die?" My husband was not around, and this WhatsApp was not like that time for me to start calling him, because he was the only closest person I could have called. I was just all alone. The hospital I went to, a big hospital, they said they are not doing thyroid function tests. I said, "In this hospital, what kind of disease is this one?" I entered my car. I went to the teaching hospital, Lagos State Teaching Hospital, to do to run the test. Unfortunately, I visited 4 labs. They said they were doing it. So imagine the kind of feeling that would be going through me that time. I just broke down in tears. I started crying as I was just approaching my car hopelessly. One of the sisters I knew then in my former church just surfaced. Said, "What's the problem?" I told her, I said, "Look at the problem. Look at the test. They said I should go and run. What is this?" He said, "Don't worry. There's a lab I will take you to. If they're not doing it, they will give you a clue." That was how I followed her. And really, they were not doing it, but they gave me a clue. And I went to a lab, and they told me I would wait for 8 working days for the result to come out. So you can imagine. And after everything, I came back. It was one man that had a lab close to where I stay. I went to him again. I said, "Look at the issue I'm going through now. Please explain to me what's wrong with me." And the man said, "Don't worry. Once they diagnose the exact type of thyroid, if it's thyroid disease, you will take drugs and it will go away. There's no problem." That man was the one that calmed me, and I was able to sleep that night, uneasy sleep, that kind of uneasy sleep. So after 10 days, 8 days, I went to collect it, and they wrote it. Then I didn't know what is. I had to go back to the doctor. The doctor sent me to a medical doctor in that hospital, because it was an Air Force hospital. So that was where I went. They started, examining this. I started my treatment. But there's something. The doctor did not tell me what was wrong with me, what to expect, what to do, and this. He just gave me some drugs and asked me to go home. After 1 month, go for another test and come back. To cut the whole story short, after some time, I stopped going for that checkup. I became more frustrated because if I go to the hospital and ask him, tell me what is wrong with me, let me know exactly if what I was feeling that time was connected to what was wrong with me. He would just give me one big medical book and tell me to go and read that for him, you know. So it continued like that, and I stopped taking my medication without knowing that it will worsen my situation, and my situation worsened. Before I knew it, my systems were shutting down. My systems were shutting down. So it continued like that until one of my friends at the appointed time just came to my house one day, because early in the morning like this, after a while, I had to suspend my job because I was dying. I was totally dying. I suspended it. Then I started staying at home because I couldn't even do anything. I can't even in church. Imagine in church, me that I like dancing in church a lot. I would just sit down and be looking at people there. I would fatigue to the highest level. I will not stand up. I didn't know that a lot of people were even gossiping. Maybe she don't get HIV. This one, her husband know they're around. So many things. It was after my surgery that they started confessing all the things they said. So that was how I continued. But one thing is sure, I did not compromise my faith. I was holding on to God. I was holding on to God. I was like, God, you cannot leave me. And one thing is, my heart was so strong. I was telling somebody that time that I was holding God by his wrapper, and the wrapper left him. I held him by his trouser, and the trouser wanted to leave me. I held him by his pants. I was just there with God because nobody understood me until dying minutes. My legs were swelling up. Remember that I told you that once your thyroid gland has issues, it has the tendency of affecting your brain. Even my hair started falling off. My hairs, I was losing my hair. I will call my daughter now, and she will come. I'll forget why I was calling her. You know, I will go to work and come back. The children will come to greet me. I will tell everybody, go to your, just leave me alone. I want to stay alone. I didn't want to stay with anybody. So that was how it continued. Then that was how I went to Enugu. It was in Enugu. And when I got there, I was wrecked. I was looking like a 60-year-old woman. Even doctor couldn't even, relate my looks with my age as at that time. And he started giving me treatment. In fact, it was the doctor that told me. He did not ask me anything. He was just telling me, is it doing you like this? Are you feeling this way? Just mere, he was so therapeutic for me. For just the way the doctor attended to me made me start feeling fine. Immediately, I was in the doctor's office. So after I survived it, every day, I had an encounter during my surgery, a very big one, where the angel of God just came at my back. I had never had such, I don't know. I think that was the day I was born again, another phase of life, because the enemy wanted my life, but God said no for a purpose. So after that day, every day in my hospital room, I'll be worshiping God. And this voice now came. He said, yes, I'll just be looking at myself, my neck. I said, hey, is this me? Is this? So finally, God. And this voice came. If it's a voice of a baby or a man or a woman or whatever, I didn't know because I was alone in the room. My sister went to buy something. He said, yes, I saved you. Use your life to save others. I ran away from the room just like someone. I ran away. I went to the nurse's corner. I went out. I didn't tell them what happened. I was waiting for my sister to come back. So when she came back, she was like, why are you outside? I had no intention was to survive this thing and get my groove back and start being that myself, you know. I had already planned how I would continue enjoying my life. I battled it, so I didn't want to do it. But the funny thing is that anytime people see me, they start on. Anytime people see me, how did you do this? Did you do this in Nigeria? Because people didn't believe that you can do this thing in Nigeria and have your peace, you know, and survive it. So later on, people started asking me, hey, where did you do this? Please, can I know your doctor? Please, can you refer me to your doctor? This and that. That was how it started. We started from there, and I still did not want to do it. So when I was sleeping, then God will be hitting me. You have not done what I said. I looked around in the whole Africa, the whole Nigeria. I saw a big shoe. I said, who is going to enter this big shoe? Me, Iruoma? No. God, please, let somebody start it. Let me follow. God said, you are the one that will do it. I said, I've been in the financial industry. How can I transit into another area? What will I do? And the funny thing is that the first set of people I revealed my vision to, they discouraged me. Did you do any health related course in the university? Blah blah blah. No, even doctors, people that have been in this social sector making impact, they discouraged me, and I went back again. And one day, I want to tell us something. When God sends you an assignment, He has a purpose for it, and at times He may come in a hard way. I had a dream where a cousin of mine, because that time God has already given me the name. This is a covenant name. And I was joking with it and still looking at it as it was a very big something for me to do. And a cousin of mine invited me to for a launch that she was launching her NGO. Do you know I went for that launch? It was the name of this organization that was being launched by my cousin in my dream. And I remember the pastor that talked about how God told him to write a book, and he did not write that book. God now sent someone to write the same book with the same title, and he was invited to be the reviewer of that book. It was so disastrous for him. So immediately God brought it to my consciousness. I knelt down in the morning. I said, yes, Lord, I will do it. And I told God something. If you really want me to do this, I have agreed though, but you have to place around me people that will help me to drive this vision. And that was how God started, directing me to the right people that will help me. I had never done NGO work before. God just took me to the people that started nurturing me, encouraging me, people that would tell me, oh, you mean God told you this? What are you waiting for? I want you to be the one that anybody that enters Africa, enters Nigeria, we ask, who is an authority in this field? They will call you. Oh. I started, meeting people like that, people that will tell me, come. I will tell, go and meet this person. He's good at this. Go and meet this person. He's good at this. And everything. I remember when I chose to volunteer for Dr. Joy Onyesoh. Those were the days when I was trying to hang into the system to understand what was happening. And I didn't learn it from anybody. Holy Spirit, I will sit down. All the programs I've had in Africa, we have had the first public lecture in thyroid awareness, which attracted more than 35 medical directors. They didn't send their assistants. They came because that was the day they gave me. I was called this thyroid queen. Because if they said that even doctors are afraid of delving into this thyroid thing, but somebody picked courage to do it. I told them, it's not me. Left to me, I wouldn't have done it. So it started like that, and God, even doctors, the doctor that is doing surgery for us today, he met us the day we were doing our road campaign, and stopped and asked me, how can I be of help?
Help.
I did not go to him. I did not approach him.
Beautiful.
You know,
Beautiful.
the company I was begging, because one thing I did, I leveraged on all the bad experiences, terrible experiences I used, because when I survived it, I also reasoned with God. I got to know that there are so many people that will be suffering from this disease, like the way 4.5 years I was, in a wilderness with no direction. Yes, 4.5 years. I was almost dying when God decided to have mercy on me. And I thought that a lot of women, because people suffering from thyroid is a gender-specific disease. Yes, it's a gender-specific disease. It's about 80 to 20%. That ratio of 8 to 2. 8 for women and 2 for men. Because I can even, in my organization, now out of 35 people we have done surgeries for, only 4 are men. The rest 31 are women. So you can understand what I'm saying. So many people that are suffering from thyroid disease, they don't like to talk about it. We hide a lot in this climb. How was I able to build myself? I had some issues after my thyroid disease, which the doctor could not even handle, which is only someone that had gone through it that can help you say, do it this way, do it that way. I had to join international support groups where we were exchanging ideas and sharing our experiences and knowledge. So that was how we started awareness, and people started approaching us, and you see people, it's so pathetic that government is not even paying attention to it. They are not calling it a measure. Yes. So because of this awareness, God has helped us to penetrate some places and some people are even, ready to help us to raise this awareness, even in rural communities, because that is where our attention is now. Yes. A lot of women, they will call me. Yeah. Hello?
Hello, I'm here. I'm with you. We're
hearing
you.
A lot of women, there are even ones that their own have gotten so bad that you see goiter on their neck. And I don't hesitate in calling them and say, my dear, come. What are you doing about this thing on your neck? He said, oh, it is well with me. It is well with me. That God is this. God has said, I know, don't bother yourself. I am a survivor. Look at my scar. And the person will just be like, oh, this is a disease that when someone is suffering, she is dying. So people commit suicide because of thyroid disease. So people have called me 12 a.m., 1 a.m., I just want to talk to you before I give it up. I just want to talk to you. What is this? Meanwhile, this was someone that had never talked to me before. He said, what's the problem? They said, you are the one I have to talk to. Just tell me. My husband had left me. He has carried his pillow to another room and left me here. So what am I living for? I said, don't worry. Before you just take your life, just allow me to see you and know you, so that when you die, I will say that I know somebody like you. And the next day she came. I said, do you mean you passed through this and you survived it? I said, of course. She came to my office and she was like, let me see your scar. She was just apprehensive, I said, I just hugged her. I said, let me hug you before you die. He said, but tell me. So, and now I sat her down after talking to her. She was able to hold herself. I thank God that today, just what a thyroid patient needs, or someone that is suffering from an invisible disease, she needs someone that understands her. What medicine cannot do, counseling, and showing that person empathy, that I really understand what you are going through. How do we are all in this together. How do we solve it? How do we get over it? I know what, yes.
Thank you so much. This is so amazing. Thank you. Iruoma has really poured into us. She came from different dimensions. So that's why I asked you to get your pen and notepad, because not only did she come from the health dimension, she also came in from different angles. How to handle your personal vision, how to grow your personal vision, and how to run with your message. And that is what we are here to do. Her message is one of inspiration and one of hope, and there's a key thing, you said several key things here, which I would want us to go away with. The first one is that it is important that you know that some of us have what we call invisible diseases, which are not open, which are not visible. And this is why it is important that you go for regular medical checkups. Oh my goodness, like we lost her, but I guess she will join in. Yeah, I think her network is bad, but I'm sure she will join in again. So some of us have, invisible diseases. So it's important that you go for regular medical checkup. It's also important that when you've overcome certain ailments, changes that, okay, she's here. Great, she's here, she's back. So it's also important that when you go through some certain life challenges, don't hoard it, don't hoard it, don't keep it. It is a message for you to use in helping others. So she leveraged on her own pain, on her own experiences to do what she's doing here today. Another thing is about vision. So many of us are blessed with gifts. See, God has given everybody some vision, some gift. Don't be ashamed of it. Start. He may not show you the total picture, but just pray about it and start. And be mindful of who you share the vision with. There are certain persons you share it with, they will kill it for you. There are certain persons you share it with, and then they will help you grow. And it's also important that you know your voice is for change. Your voice is for change. She has taken us through her period. She, at a point in time in her journey, how I came to meet her was virtually. I asked for volunteers. She volunteered with me, and she did an amazing job. So don't be ashamed to volunteer. Don't be reluctant to volunteer. You volunteer. You share your skill set with others. When you're helping some other person grow their vision, your own vision is growing. God will send helpers to also help you along your way. That is what it is. So you cannot be an island. You need to be able to help other people. God has placed us in this earth to serve people. So find out who you're meant to serve and serve them diligently. And finally, have a support system. Like she rightly said, there are certain things medication alone cannot do. You need empathy, you need a support system, you need counseling. Don't be ashamed. When sickness comes, there is no need for you to hide it. Just like she joined a support group, an international support group, that she was sharing her ailments with, some of the things she was seeing, and they were giving her ideas. It was the same thing with my daughter. When I found out that brittle bone disease is very rare, in fact, I did know of anyone that had brittle bone disease in Nigeria. I had to join an OI group, and that was how I was able to link up with the few families that have brittle bone children here in Nigeria, and we came together as a community. There's a strength we have when you have somebody that has gone through what you're going through or is living that kind of life. It helps all of you to grow together and to be strong. So please find support system, grow your vision, reach out, and don't forget that your mental well-being is very important. Iruoma said it's very important that we safeguard our mental health, especially this time where a lot of gory videos, gory messages, and people are deliberately putting panic in the system. Somebody will call and say, I heard that they said this one, they said. We don't know who is saying. Everybody is saying. Just creating fear and panic. There are people that are evil manipulators. That is what they thrive on, making everybody feel tense. Now, if you have high blood pressure or other invisible diseases, this is the time for you to really know what kind of information you should get and what kind of information you should stream out. So please be very, very, very careful what information you take in. Now, before I turn over to Iruoma to give us her final words, I want to take the next 10 persons. The next 10 persons, first 10 persons to put out their number and thyroid queen. We want to celebrate Iruoma today. So you put out your number and write thyroid queen. So we're celebrating our thyroid queen, the first thyroid queen in Nigeria and Africa. and we're celebrating her today. So your number and then thyroid queen. Your number and thyroid queen. Let's go. The first 10 persons. You don't bother about the spelling. Just let's get it. Thyroid queen. I understand. Beautiful. I have the first person, Esther. I have Smaya coming. Great. Keep it coming in. If at your beautiful. If at your is thyroid queen, not peace. No. Ben, it is thyroid queen, not queen. Thyroid queen. So while we're doing that, while this is coming up, if you have questions, please put it here. We have 5 minutes to wrap up. So if you have questions, put it here. Beautiful. The numbers are coming right in. Thank you very much. Now I come back to you, Roma. What are your final words? What will you advise us to do in wrapping up? What will you advise us to do?
Okay, I want to talk to women, most especially. You know, our body is very, very complicated. If we know how our body is wired, you know, there's something I noticed about women. We are quick to invest in something that will showcase us even when we are dying inside. We should try as much as possible to invest in our health. Let's invest in our health. Let our health be our priority. I have a friend that what she does for herself every birthday, every year, she will go for a comprehensive health check. It helps a lot. Periodically, there's self-care. Give yourself that care. I noticed that if somebody is selling something that you will eat and be healthy, you hardly see people that are asking you how much. But once you post something like, hey, this organic, it will make you to glow. Do this, do that. I like looking good, but I don't prioritize all the physical, all the physical ones to what I will eat. What I will eat. Look for good diet and lifestyle is paramount.
Beautiful.
It's very, very, yes, paramount. Diet and lifestyle. There are some people that can buy. I went to my friend to a cosmetic shop. She stood there and bought cream of 60 something thousand. This is somebody I've been telling to buy 3 liters of olive oil to be using for her heart, to safeguard her heart. She said that it's expensive at 7,000 naira. But she can buy cream of 60 something thousand just to see. When I was having this thyroid issue, I became so dark that if no cream, even the one made in heaven, could even address my issue until I became well inside. In fact, whatever you are outside is a reflection of what you are inside. So we should try we should try as much as possible to invest in our health. Don't compromise it. Yes.
Okay.
And ensure you always detoxify your body, spirit, soul, and body. Don't nurse grudges. Do you know that all this bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment, they cause diseases? Rid yourself of all these things and be healthy, mentally, spiritually. Just be open-hearted. Keep your mind open so that your spirit, soul, and body will be fine.
Fine. Thank you so much.
And every year, set your to-do and to stop health goals. Stop eating certain things. Run away from sugar. Run away from fried food. All these unhealthy things. And to do and to stop on your health goals. So it will help us so much.
Thank you so much. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Iruoma Ofortube. She's the thyroid queen and she has really poured into us today. And so today we talked about a lot of things. We've talked about thyroid care, thyroid awareness. She has taken us through how we can look after our thyroid, how to be aware. And we've also talked about our personal development. We've talked about how to grow our vision, how to also manage our mental and emotional health, especially in a time like this. So if you're just tuning in, we're wrapping up. This is Friday Night Hangout with Joy Onyesoh. And here we share inspiring messages. We learn, we relearn, we unlearn, and we just learn to celebrate ourselves while being the best version of ourselves. So welcome. And I hope that you join us next week, Friday, as we take up the wrap-up session of health and wellness. And we're going to have another amazing guest. You don't want to miss the session of next week, which is our wrap-up session for October on health and awareness. And remember, like Iruoma said, set your health goals each year. Personally, I do annual checks every year. It's very important. You don't need to be sick to go to the hospital. And that's what most of us wait for. We wait till we're sick before we go to the hospital. So it's very important that you make out certain times in a year where you go for comprehensive medical check. It saves you a lot. And if you're over 40, don't forget to add your mammogram to your annual medical checks. It's very important. Add your mammogram to your annual medical checkup. Remember, keep your vision healthy, keep your health healthy. And in this time where there is a lot that is going on, I ask you to please hold on to your emotions, look for a very good support system. If you have invisible diseases, please take care of yourself at this time. And before we wrap up, I want to read what Njideka says. Njideka says here, "Ma'am, your story reminds me of last year when I had a stillbirth. After some months, I started having discharge that became smelly, and it came with heavy contractions. I started telling people my problem. Nobody was able to pinpoint what was wrong. I even went for scan and they said it's fibroid. Until I met someone on my way and I was moved to share my story. And the person said I should go and meet someone at UNTH. In fact, it was a sanitary pad that was left there. Please, women, say your problem." Can you imagine that? And this is why you don't have to hide. Can you imagine if Njideka had hidden her problem? You know what? The sanitary
Would
pad would
have
have
killed
just
her.
decayed inside there and killed her.
Yes.
So you need to learn how to share with trusted people. Learn how to
Trusted
share with
people.
trusted people.
Yeah.
A problem shared is a problem halved and is a problem solved. So please learn how to share. Ojama says, "Health is wealth." Missy George says, "God bless you, Queen, and thank you, Prof. One love." Madora said, "God bless you, ma'am." Amarachi says, "Thank you so much, ma'am." Iruoma, you're having so much love from your tribe. They're our tribe. You're also part of the tribe. So we're excited. And I know that you've learned a lot today. Listen, we're going to be in for an amazing time in November. Don't worry. Next week, I would release the cocoa for you, what we are going to be doing in November. Eh? This is a show where we learn, we keep inspired, and we learn to celebrate and be happy. I want you to be happy. There's a lot of love in this space, and I release the love to you as you go forth tonight. Go forth energized with the love, with the happiness. You have a tribe in Friday Night Hangout. This is our safe space where we share without fear of being judged. And just remain focused. Just remain focused. Remain focused, remain happy, and don't forget to spread the message of love. We are going, if you won a prize, you're going to be contacted by a member of my team. And congratulations to Shan George, who won last 2 weeks. Congratulations to Ifacho, who won last week. And don't forget to share this video. When you share this video, kindly tag me on this video, my business page, which is Prof. Joy Onyesoh. Tag me on the video, and then we're going to call out the winner next week. The winner is the person that has the most likes on his or her share. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female, as long as you have the most likes on your share, then you will be the winner of 5,000 naira next week. Like I said at the beginning of the program, we're not lost their lives of the country. Remember, I love, I honor, I celebrate you. Keep being you. And don't forget to spread the message of peace. I'll see you next week, Friday, same time, 7 p.m. We'll be discussing another interesting edition of health and wellness. Love you all so much. See you next week. Thank you so much, Iruoma. It's a pleasure to have you here today. And keep being good and keep spreading the message. Love you all. See you next week, Friday.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.